The following is a summary with quotes and commentary of Common Sense by Thomas Paine. The government is a necessary evil needed to rein in our moral shortcomings, yet the government is no replacement for moral aptitude. Monarchies are inherently absurd because the role of the king demands him be involved in the affairs of those being governed. However, the nature of kings is that they are far removed and cloistered away from the governed society. The king is less of a representative of the people than his subjects. It is the pride of kings which throws mankind into confusion. It is worth analyzing why a certain class of men become exalted above the rest as to make them their subjects. There is no justifiable reason as to why a single man should be held in higher regard above the rest. Samuel of the Old Testament told the Hebrews that they did not need an earthly king. Regardless, we have added onto ourselves this evil, to ask for a king. When hereditary rule is established, it is nearly impossible to reverse due to human fear and superstition. The king, essentially, then becomes the chief of all plundering. Hereditary rulers were once a necessity, but altered this necessity into a right or privilege. The first kings were selected either by lot, election, or usurpation, all of which gives no justification for the continuance of a hereditary monarchy. What other purpose does a monarch have than to wage war and give away land, ruining the nation while doing both? Starting a government with a wound is like scarring a young tree, where the wound only grows with the tree. England has done more harm to the colonies than good. The empire has the power to draw the colonies to war with powers that have no effect on the Americas. Otherwise, independent alliances could arise as the free nation sees fit. It is in the interest of all Europe that America remains a free port. Not a single advantage is derived from the subjugation to Britain. It is in America's best interest to not be involved in the politics of Britain and Europe. It should be a neutral market to Europe. The Almighty provided America to the people so that they may leave the tyranny of the European monarchy. Never can reconciliation grow where wounds of hate had pierced so deep. There is something absurd for a continent to be perpetually governed by an island. England belongs to Europe and America to itself. Is a power who is jealous of our prosperity a proper power to govern us? A government that cannot preserve the peace is no government at all. It is Paine's idea that each colony should send at least 30 delegates to a Congress with a total of 390, and that a president would be selected once from each of the 13 colonies in a rotational succession with 3/5 of the Congress. The nation's methods of defense ought to rise with the increase of its property. Common sense would tell us that that which would subdue us is the most improper to defend us. When our strengths and our riches play into each other's hands, we need fear no external enemy. When we think of posterity, we know that virtue is not hereditary. We should never allow the government to fall into the hands of a monarch who would damage the government for time to come. Like the young tree, let us start the government with no scarring. Immediate necessity makes many things convenient, which if continued would grow into oppressions. Expedience and right are different things. Nothing can settle our affairs so expeditiously than a declaration of independence. The monarchy itself has driven the American continent away. America will not be heard by any other nation's court unless independence is declared. If this is not done, America will be like an old man unsettled with a nagging task that haunts him endlessly. The speech of the king is a willful, audacious libel against the truth, common good, and existence of mankind. It is a formal and pompous method of offering up human sacrifices to the pride of tyrants. This general massacre of mankind is one of the privileges of kings. Nature knows not kings, and kings know not nature. As we do not know king, nor do they know us.